Welcome back, everyone. Think back for a moment. Growing up, did you have a special pet that made a difference in your life? For some of us, that dog or cat or other animal taught us about unconditional love and friendship. This morning, we're learning about a story to help us remember that bond and share it with others. Author Cedric Threet is out with a new book. Cedric, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Certainly. Okay, we're talking about Tuffie, who is not your average puppy, is he?
No, he's not. Tuffie is the incredible puppy. There are some things about Tuffie that people won't know until they read the book. But actually, the story is about a little boy named Norman who's kind of abnormal or clumsy or awkward, so he doesn't get to participate in some of the things the other kids do. So for Christmas, he doesn't ask for a bike or a video game system. He asks for a puppy. His parents tell him that he can have the puppy, but on two conditions. Number one, he has to take sole responsibility of taking care of him. And then number two, they're going to get the puppy from an animal shelter. So Tuffie was adopted from an animal shelter.
That's wonderful. And then the story goes from there. I'm not going to ruin anything, but there is a big secret that Tuffie has that makes him extra, extra special. What inspired you to write this book?
Actually, I have a friend of mine whose name is Norman.
Okay.
And he would always tell me stories about his little dog named Tuffie.
Aww.
He said when his wife wouldn't listen to him, his kids wouldn't listen to him, he could always talk to Tuffie. So I promised him that I would write a book about Tuffie one day. So I just came up with a little imaginary story and wrote it for my friend Norman.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do you hope people get from this story?
Actually, I like them to get something like, it's okay to be different. I have a book called Different But the Same that I share with kids when I go to schools. And this story reminds children and adults that it's okay to be different.
Yeah, even if your friends are doing all, one thing, or even, look a certain way, or they're all out playing sports and you're not, it's okay. Yeah. And to give that self-confidence.
Exactly.
That's something that's so important, especially for younger children and growing up and in today's world.
Yeah.
And this is not the first book. I mean, even your previous books, you have a large repertoire, don't you?
Yeah, this is actually my 24th book. So I have books on bullying, I have books for teachers, I have motivational, inspirational books, I have a book on poetry, I even have a book about how to write a book. So that's what I do. Writing is my passion, writing and speaking.
Certainly. How did you get your start writing?
Actually, my testimony is it goes back to my 7th grade literature teacher, Miss Patrick, who entered me in a poetry reading contest. I read a poem called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost, and I won the poetry reading contest. So after that, I continued to read poetry. He eventually started writing my own poetry. And then after my wife and I started our family, you tell your kids a bedtime story, and I would put their names in the story to make it a little more interesting, and it just took off from there.
That's wonderful. So it was a passion that you had, and your teacher kind of helped ignite that a little bit.
Exactly. That's why I wrote the book for teachers, so I can inspire them as well.
Exactly, because they do such important work. You never know who you're going to inspire in your classroom. You might just have Cedric Threet right here,
You never know.
in
You
your
never
classroom.
know.
Exactly. Where can people get in touch with you if they want to book a speaking engagement, they want to have you come to the school?
Yeah, you can get in touch with me through my website. It's cedricthreet.com.
Good to know. It's on the screen right there. Now, I was just perusing through Tuffie the Incredible Puppy right here, and I noticed on the last page there is something very special. So it says to be continued.
Exactly. It's a series that I'm doing. So this is the first in the series. Tuffie's going to go worldwide.
I love it. When do you plan on having the second one come out?
Probably within the next 6 months.
Okay, so we can look forward to that.
Exactly.
You were saying this one came out just last month, so yeah, you're on a good timeline here.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Cedric, any tips for those of us who want to dive into the world of writing and become an author?
I would say just do it. Everybody has a story to tell, and who better to tell your story than you? Just go out there and do it. Everybody has an imagination. You can do whatever you want. The sky is the limit when it comes to writing. I always tell people, if you can talk, you can write.
There you go. Yes. Well, Cedric, thank you so much for your time this morning. We have the website on the screen where you can find out more about Tuffie's journey and the other books by Cedric. Where can we find Tuffie the Incredible Puppy?
You can find them on my website and on Amazon as well.
Good to know. Cedric, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Certainly. All right, next, technology to help you you craft your special someone something quick and crafty just in time for Valentine's Day. That's coming up next.